defeating the wind this time around.
I think that's the best
Home remedies for beating the wind. Okay.
Actually, you know what I was going to say? Maybe a good name for practice is defeating the wind.
Defeating the wind.
All right, so once again, I'm Adam Meringolo. This is Stephen Hartman, and we'll call it defeating the wind.
There it is. That's called motorcycle. There's the Golden Bridge. Okay.
Can you imagine how much you improve to keep that going?
Think about how much it hurts your shoulders, and like imagine.
And so this practice is going to be to counteract the effects of revving your motorcycle for hours on end.
All right, let's do it.
All right, so I'm actually going to have you get started in forearm plank. Right, so that there's this thing, right? And I'm actually going to recommend, not just for you, but for everybody that ever watches this, interlace your fingers together on this one. Another option, I like pressing my palms together, right? And then what Stephen's going to do, and he's already doing it, is press his shoulders back more, right? So you notice at this point now his shoulders are all the way over his elbows. He can walk his feet back a little bit. You know, so I used to get this cue from people, even more if you can, right? Butt down. What does that tell you? Not a hell of a lot, right? But what you really want to do though is start anchoring your tailbone more towards your heels and lifting your front hips more towards your low ribs. And in doing so, there's a slight, what they call posterior tilt of the pelvis, right? And that's what's actually going to allow you to access your lower core. And just like clockwork, right as we start doing this, the wind picks up. And then for you at home, if you have space, can you walk your feet back another inch or two? Right, the idea is to be able to elongate the stance, and what that's actually going to do is it's going to make your deeper core muscles work harder, right? So it's not really about the six-pack, it's about the deeper core muscle called the transverse abdominis. Now everybody, wrap your upper outer arms back a little bit, spread the collarbones just like Stephen's done. All right, collarbones keep spreading. Now the littlest bit, it's not thrusting your chin up, it's gently lifting your chin as you move the crown of your head forward. Right, tail still stays anchoring. Take one more inhale. Exhale, lower your hips to the mat, untuck your toes. Separate your forearms so that your forearms are parallel to one another. And take a look, right? So Stephen's doing this, but I'm willing to bet at least 2/3 of you that watch this will have one arm or both arms angled in. So make it a parallelogram, right? Parallel lines. Try not to make it like a trapezoid-like structure. Right, and then Stephen, walk your elbows forward a little bit, so you'll notice, right, constantly what happens, and it happens for me too, trust me, is that your shoulders will want to cave forward. So you're going to have to actively move them behind your elbows, back of your elbows, and then with the tops of your feet, press them down, lift your knees off the mat, right, pull your thighs into your hip socket. So again, as the thigh bones suck in, there's an anchoring of the tail, shoulder heads, move them back. And you'll see, like Stephen's doing really well here, there's a space right between the shoulder blades. You begin to lift your heart more. Right? And then from time to time checking, can you move the shoulders back, even a centimeter's fine. Right? Tops of feet press down. Take one more inhale. Exhale lowers you all the way down. Right? And now that you've got that sense of accentuation of the tail anchoring, uppermost part of the chest lifting, reach your arms back. You can hook thumbs, you can interlace fingers, you can use a strap if you got one handy. There it is. Okay. And I'm gonna, just for posterity's sake, I'm gonna have him use a strap here. And when he does this, you'll notice his shoulders lift a lot higher. See that? All that extra space, the front shoulder head's open. Now remember that lift of the uppermost part of the chest, lift from there. Right? And what he's doing is he's pulling the shoulder blades together to get, the rhomboid muscles engaged a little bit. So everybody do this. Press your shoulder blades together as if you're trying to get them to touch. Move them down your back. Try to pull your shoulders apart, even, by pulling your biceps apart, yeah? So you feel the shoulder blades spread, and as you're doing this, can you get the pinky toe side of your foot down more? Yes, excellent. Outer ankles firm in. Take an inhale. Exhale lowers you all the way down. Take the strap, you can set it aside. What I'll do is I'll slide it under the mat so it doesn't blow away. Right? And then hands plant by your low ribs. Leave your toes untucked. Why? Because why not a third round of a heart opener right off the bat? Baby cobra. Right? And again, that uppermost part of the chest, can you pull it forward and lift when you're ready? And then If you notice that your elbows want to wing out, can you turn your hands out ever so slightly, and you'll notice how much easier it is to pull your shoulder or elbow tips a little closer to each other. And just like this, elbow tips pointing straight back, pull your heart forward, lift a little higher, breathe into your upper chest. Exhale, belly to spine, lowers you all the way down. Toes tuck. Maybe knees lift. Hug your elbows in tight, press to plank. Right, go to hands and knees first if you need. Take an inhale in plank, exhale down dog when you're ready. Right, and really try to feel it. And you know, Stephen is like right to it. You know, hips way up and back. Right, hips lifting way up and back. But just like most folks, shift about a third of the way, maybe a fourth of the way to plank. And can you pull your collarbones? Yes. See how much more space he's gotten? Collarbone spread. Keep that. No, shift forward again. Right, and again, upper outer arms wrap back. Keep this much space in your collarbones. Only go as far back as you can go in this direction. Right, so really getting that sense of, you know, not overusing the upper trapezius muscles. Collarbones still lift, they just spread. Right, press down through the inner hands. Right, and then everybody do this. Exhale, bend your knees, look way past your hands. Tiptoe your feet to the front of the mat. Right, press the ground the way as you walk up. Yeah. Nice. And then when you get all the way up, fingertips to your shins, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, inhaling. Exhale, fold from your hips. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, the half lift once again, shoulders onto your back. Exhale, fold again. You're going to do this twice more. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana, pull your heart forward. Exhale, fold it forward. One more time, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift, hold here. Keep this, exhale your hands to your hips. Keep your shoulders on your back, take an inhale, a little bend in your knees, squeeze your feet down, exhale, lift up all the way. Brilliant. Inhale all the way up, arms all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Start to get some movement in. Inhale, arms all the way up. Feel your ribs spread wide. Exhale to fold. Nice. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, stand you up all the way, reach all the way up. Right? Maybe lean back a little bit. Try not to puff groins forward. Roll them in. Exhale, hands to heart center. One more like that. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, fold you all the way forward. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand you up all the way. Exhale, hands to heart center. Beginning to move forward. Inhale, arms all the way up. Exhale, fold you forward. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back with your right foot. Right, stand the ball of your back foot. Spike your back heel as high as you can. Right, and then make the stance long. Bend your left knee a lot. Right, if you notice your knee comes past your ankle, walk your foot forward a little bit. Excellent. Now, hands might go on blocks, so they might stay on the ground. Right, but you'll notice here, Stephen's doing a pretty good job of getting his hips equally distant from the ground. Now, for everybody, lift your right hip about an inch. This is it. And then pull your right hip forward, squeeze your left hip back. Keep this, if you can, bring your hands to your hips. Try to keep your torso hovering. Bend your left knee more. Straighten your right leg more. Right? Couple of breaths, arms by your ears if you can. Now, lower your arms about an inch below your ears, maybe 2. Turn your palms up, biceps up. Right? So really try to roll the pinky tip side of your hand and that whole corresponding part of the arm to the ceiling. Collarbone spread a little more. This is it. Right? Hip pulling back, left hip pulling back. Both legs very strong. Inhale, get longer. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, step back, plank. Try not to shift back in space. Exactly like that. Exhale, lower halfway. Elbows hug in. Inhale, baby cobra up dog, whatever you're ready for. Shoulder heads back, upper outer arms wrap back. This is great. Exhaling down dog. Okay. Just a couple of breaths here. You'll notice when Stephen did that, he left his hands on the blocks so he wouldn't have to shift back. He could just work on hugging in, work on what's known as economy of movement. Next inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step it through. Way through. And you'll notice again with the blocks, his right foot goes all the way in between his hands. Stay here. Right foot might walk to the right a little bit. Right? And again, can you bend your right knee more? Squeeze that right hip back and make your left leg stronger. right? So that there's a sense of, you know, as you hover, you know, that right knee begins to bend more. Left thigh bone lifts to the back of the hip socket. You should feel the right hamstring turn on. Hands to your hips when you're ready. Nice. Keep pulling your right hip back. Keep pulling your left hip forward. Feel that extra length on the right side waist. Feel the sides of the waist hug in, maybe arms by your ears. Again, you'll notice Stephen's doing a great job of staying very low. Very little changes as he adds on, right? He keeps it to a minimum. Again, very economical, very direct in his movement, very clear, right? The focus is evident. Take your arms just a little bit wider. Yeah, and turn your palms up if you can. Yeah, and again, see that rolling up, out and under the upper arms. Inhaling. Exhale, hands down. Step to the front of the mat. Next inhale, half lift. Pull your heart forward. Exactly like that. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand you up all the way. Exhale, hands go to heart center. And then just one time on the breath, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold you forward. Inhale, pulls your heart forward, half lift. Exhale, step back with your left foot this time. Okay, if the mat's blowing away, you might have to readjust it first. There we go. Okay. And then one inhale, arms by your ears, stay very low. Bend your right knee more if you can. Pull your right hip back first. Exhale, hands down. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, elbows hugging as you lower. Inhaling, by the up dog or the cobra. Exhaling, down dog. Straight away, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step it through. Stay very low. Inhale, arms just below your ears. Reach forward, palms up. Exhale, hands down. Step to the front of the mat. Pull your heart forward, half lift, inhale. This time stay here, exhale. Feel your sides of your waist hug in. Feel the transverse abdominis work. Take one more inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand you up all the way, reaching all the way up, maybe back. Inner thighs continue to roll back. Exhale, hands down to heart center. Surya A. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, the four-limb staff pose. Brilliant. Upward dog or cobra. And then roll back over your toes if you can, down dog. About 5 breaths here. Right, feel the upper outer arms wrap back. Feel the tail lengthen up and back. Right, see if you can get that sense. Right, as the upper inner thighs roll back and the tail lengthens back into that the deep low belly draws in towards your sacrum. That the sides of your waist draw in towards your midline. Take one more inhale. Exhale, bend your knees, look past your hands. Step or jump in front of the mat. Inhaling, Ardha Uttanasana, pull the heart forward. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand you up all the way, reaching up, maybe back. Exhale, hands go to heart center. Right, this time, bend into your knees, chair pose. Right, separate your feet a little bit. You want to make sure that your knees point forward. Hover your left foot 1 inch off the mat. Not going to be here terribly long. Try to keep your right hip hugging in, just like this. Try to feel the hamstring working. Step your left foot back into a lunge position. Bring your hands to heart center. Tilt your torso forward. Make your left leg stronger. And then option 1 is to hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Option 2, left hand can go to the inside of your right foot. Both are valid. Try not to lean forward, right? Try to lean your heart back. Try to bend your right knee more, straighten your left leg more. Now, Stephen is doing really well. You'll see it on the second side. That left hip swivels down, right? Another thing he's doing really well, you'll see how his right ribs don't pop up at all. He's hugging them in as he turns. He's getting, the oblique work and again, the transverse abdominis work. Take one more inhale. Exhale, let the twist go, hands down. Step to the front of the mat. Pull your heart forward, half lift, inhale. Exhale to fold. Sit low once again. Chair pose once again. Hover your right foot an inch off the mat. Again, that left hip, hug it in. Feel that sense of that outer left hip hugging in. It's almost like you're squeezing your left heel down and forward to pull that left hip back and in. Step it back into the lunge. Again, lower your torso about halfway, hands to heart center, and then into the twist. Maybe it's right elbow outside of your left thigh, just like that, or right hand to the inside of your left foot. Now, if possible, right, one, if your left hand goes behind your back, just like Steven's doing, right, back of your palm faces out, left shoulder moving onto your back more, there it is, right? Feel that, and you'll see here, that right hip swivels down. The one thing I might nitpick on for him is to lean his heart back. Most of you will need to do the same. Brilliant. And there's a sense of that left knee, make sure it doesn't cave in or knock out. Point it straight ahead. Pull your left hip back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, hands down. This time step back, inhale, plank. Slow exhale lowers you, Chaturanga Dandasana. The cobra or the upward facing dog. Exhaling down dog once again. All right. And then nice and easy, shift forward, plank. Lower your forearms back to the mat. Yes, the second round is a forearm plank. Right? Now, walk your feet back far enough, or elbows forward far enough, right, so that your hips can really get about even with your shoulders. Yeah. Keep everything else the same. Keep your shoulders super level. Yes, your right hip will swivel. Bring your right hip to your left armpit. Twist. Or right knee to your left armpit, sorry. If you can bring your right hip to your left armpit, that's a hell of a lot of spinal flexion. In fact, do that too. Do that too. Shift forward with your hips. There it is. Inhale back to the forearm plank. Exhale, left knee, right armpit. I got it right on the first time. Right? And then again, left shoulder lifts. Left hip swivels down. Feel your right ribs rolling down. Inhale, forearm plank. Moving on the breath. Exhale, right knee, left armpit. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale, left knee, right armpit. Inhale, forearm plank. One more round. Exhale, right knee, left armpit. Inhale, forearm plank. Try not to shift back. Exhale, left knee, right armpit. Inhale, forearm plank. Take an inhale here. Curse profusely. Exhale, lower your hips. And then always good to use a nice heavy-duty suit pot cover, right, to help hold the mat down on a windy day. Right. Now, feel the Sphinx. Pull your shoulder heads back. Lift your heart. Now, try not to let your torso drop too much. Just slide your hands back to your low ribs. Lift to baby cobra. Right? You might go a little farther. On this one, pubic bone stays in contact with the mat. Try not to let your groins roll down. Try to roll them up. Right? Shoulder heads back. Pubic bone stays on the mat. Try not to lift your hips at all. Right? So moving towards full Bhujangasana, not going to get all the way there for most folks. And again, if your shoulders move forward at all, right, exactly, come out of it a little bit. Emphasize the lift of the upper chest. Take an inhale. Exhale lowers you all the way down. Toes tucked. Press to plank and hold. 3 to 4 breaths. Okay. Collarbone spread. Take one more inhale. Exhale to down dog. Right. So, if you have wall space at home or have an active middle of the room, Adho Mukha Vrikshasana, that's a handstand practice, you're welcome to it. In the interest of time, I'm actually going to be Steven's wall and spot him for handstands. Right? So if you're taking this, don't jump up quite yet. If you're taking this at the wall, take your hands about a handprint away from the wall. Right? So that you're not kind of, when you get your feet to the wall, it's not kind of a dumping into your low back. And when you pull your feet off the wall, you do it by anchoring your tail towards your heels. You do it by pulling your low ribs in. When you're ready, jump up. Nice. And he's going to come all the way up. He's getting much clearer on this. Thighs are rolling in, tail's lengthening. So this hugs in more. Tail stays lengthening up. Can you press the focus down? Especially that right one. Upper outer arms wrap back. Forearms hug in. Inner hands press down. Same as down dog. Right? When you're ready to come down, come down. Right? Take a moment. You can stay in Uttanasana for a forward fold. If you want one more round, you're welcome to it. Right? And you'll notice Steve jumped up with both feet. I encourage that if you don't do it often. If you're jumping one foot, use the other foot. If you only have one foot, use that foot. Come on up when you're ready. Keep that right arm super strong. Right, and again, you'll notice for most of you, one arm wants to go out. Many of you, I'm going to recommend using a strap. We don't have it with us today. We'll have it next week. Press down to your hands more, both arms. Straighten that right arm. Yes. Right, and then feel the sides of the waist hug in, the low ribs hug in. Right, when you're ready to come down, you can come down. Right, you can tell, and he does excellent work. For me as well, right, one of my arms, the elbow tip wants to turn out. That arm wants to give way. Right, this, oh.
We have this thing instead of the strap.
Try it. Maybe time for one more. Holy shit.
There we
You'll
go.
notice when he does this, he might go a little wider with it. His shoulders are pretty broad, right? But you want, just like he's got it where those elbow tips, you can point them straight back. You don't want them bowing out, right? You don't want the upper arm bone, the humerus bone, very serious bone called the humerus, angling out at all. I had to get one in there. I had to get one.
It's been light on the jokes today, Adam.
Yeah, well, we don't have much time, right? So we just got to get right to it.
All right, let's do it.
One more time. Come on up, because third time's a charm. You'll notice when he did that, he was able to come up a lot slower. Right? Press out through the biceps, straighten the arms at the same time. Both at the same time. Up right arm, right back, and then straighten that right arm a lot more than you think you need. Come on down when you're ready. Starting to get some hang time. This is good. And then what I'm actually going to ask you all to do here, in the interest of time, just for today. Right, so last week there was a guided pranayama where I actually gave a cadence. For today, just right from here, especially because this stirs up a lot for a lot of us, gets us super energized. What would it be like to take your legs up the wall, sling your knees over your couch or your bed, right, or lie on your back with your knees over a bolster, and simply breathe and let your exhales elongate to about twice the length of your inhales for a good 5 to 6 minutes. That's my question to you. So on behalf of Dr. Stephen Hartman, I'm Adam Meringolo. We'll have a more expounded variation of this practice at a future, near future date. Thank you very, very much. Have a great day and namaste.